Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Now, Saturday, I'm going to keep saying this, it did not deliver to me. I thought the pay-per-view had the potential to be pretty solid, but especially the main event, it just did not deliver. But moving on to greener pastures, September 16th, it goes down. Now that's a fight. Canelo Alvarez, I was born ready, versus Gennady, and no guys, Golovkin. They don't even know what venue this is going to be at the moment. I'm sure there's a lot of venues that are interested in the past. The Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, AT&T Stadium have showed interest. Obviously, a Texas fight would be huge because of the capacity in which it could hold. The maximum amount of fans, probably for like U.S. venues. Vegas is always popping. T-Mobile, brand new arena. They had, a good crowd, good energy at the weigh-in, and also at the fight. I think it was about 20,000 people for Canelo Chavez Jr. Again, a fight that didn't deliver, but you can't really blame Canelo. He was even baiting Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr. just couldn't get off the blocks for whatever reason. Now, shout out to Yahoo Sports. They conducted an interview with Golovkin trainer Abel SANCHEZ, and they also talked to Tom Loeffler. They said, hey, do you think the Denny Jacobs fight, just because he pushed Golovkin the distance, some people even thought he won, do you think that influenced or inspired Team Canelo and Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy to take the fight? And Tom Loeffler says, I quote, "It didn't hurt," right? Meaning the perception of Golovkin is, okay, he's human now. I mean, when it's hard to say, and trust me, I call boxing fair. Golovkin's resume before Kell Brook definitely wasn't great. And even Kell Brook is an asterisk, just because we know he was not of note. He was not a true middleweight. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what the scale says in terms of, I understand that Kell Brook ate up and ate what he wanted, abandoned like a strict routine diet to outweigh Golovkin, and he was outweighing Golovkin in the 30-day weigh-in. I followed the story. I mean, I covered boxing, so I followed it, did the Ego Weight Watchers on that. But again, the big difference, if you know fitness, if you know the human body, is Kell Brook admits that he was eating how he wanted to eat, and it was less strenuous than having to cut to sacrifice to make 147. Golovkin was able to continue doing what he has been doing, right? He probably didn't have to change anything. So that in itself lets you know that they were not the same size, because Kell Brook had to change something that from what he was normally doing. He was normally making 147, and now he can loosen up on his diet. Triple G, he's had to make middleweight since he turned pro, and even when he fought in the amateurs, he was fighting around that weight. So he didn't really have to do anything different. You can look at their backs and tell who's naturally bigger, not who. It's just like I said, Michael B. Jordan, he bulked up for the role in Creed, but just let's say he was weighing 180. What about the guys who are 180 pounds when they cut, but before the fight, they're 195, 200. You know what I'm saying? Do you think Michael B. Jordan has the same level of strength because he bulked up for that one role? You know what I'm saying? It just, and obviously he's not a true fighter. I'm just giving an example of someone who made a drastic change in their body. I mean, these Hollywood actors do it all the time. You know the guy who played Thor, Chris Hemsworth or whatever. They do that for a particular role, and then you'll see him in another movie and they look substantially smaller. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened with Kell Brook. Kell Brook, I did a video about it. He's already 6 pounds away from welterweight. Again, I guarantee you Golovkin cannot make welterweight, right? He says he will fight anyone from 154 to 168, and then they boil it down. He'll only come down to that weight for Floyd Mayweather, which is the biggest payday, right? Or against Manny Pacquiao, guys who aren't really 54 pounders, you know what I mean, haven't spent their career fighting there. So that goes to show you something. Kell Brook, win, lose, or draw with the Errol Spence situation, he'll probably fight at 154 before it's all said and done. That's the difference, and I had to clear that up. But back to this Yahoo Sports interview with Abel Sanchez. He's basically talking about the perception that Golovkin's still a great fighter, but the destroyer, the killer instinct is not there. I mean, he didn't finish Danny Jacobs, who got stopped by Dmitry Perov. And Abel Sanchez said, let them think that. Everyone has an opinion. I imagine that fight gives Golden Boy confidence. Have it. I know what I have in the gym, and it's not what they just faced Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in the ring, right? Abel goes on to say that they're going to open camp for Golovkin for this September fight in mid-July. Again, we don't know where the fight is going to take place venue-wise. I imagine they will do a press tour. I mean, I can't see why they wouldn't for this type of fight. They want to get as much press for this particular fight before the actual fight goes down. I expect to see good promotion for this. A face-off 24/7. Ward Kovalev 2 is coming up in June, so they'll probably do maybe some segments in between where they have both fighters or commercials or something. This should get the good HBO treatment. Abel Sanchez goes on to say, Canelo can crack. He has fast hands. He's more relaxed in the ring than he was a year ago. He looks better mentally too. Still, compared to Daniel Jacobs, he thinks that the fight is different. He says, with Jacobs, we had to bring bigger guys into the gym. There was more wear and tear. Canelo is smaller. There won't be as much. So I'm looking forward to it, man. It remains to be seen. Obviously, we got to see how Canelo looks. This will be his second fight north of 160 or 159 pounds. They'll be fighting at 160. He just fought at 164.5, which could have had something to do with his stamina because he was fighting someone so much bigger. Golovkin isn't the biggest middleweight, so I don't know. And Golovkin is going to be more Canelo. I mean, bottom line, Chavez Jr. didn't really throw many punches. I can't see that being the case with Golovkin. Golovkin will definitely try to counter at some point. So it should be a good fight, man. I don't know who I'm picking yet, but I like the confidence in Abel Sanchez. And they're saying, hey, you think we're vulnerable after this fight? And the worst thing you could do in boxing is underestimate a person. And I agree with Abel Sanchez in the sense of each fight is its own. You look at Daniel Jacobs. I talked to him the other day. I just talked to him, and he was at the Box Fan Expo. Shout out to my dude. The dude's he's big. He's bigger than Golovkin, for sure. Because I was at Golovkin versus Wade. I've seen Golovkin plenty of times and know Jacobs. So Jacobs is a big dude. Plus he's known as a puncher. Canelo's not as big, and he's the guy who's moving up. Danny Jacobs has spent a career at 160, and some believe he'll probably have to go up to 68 at some point, right? With his frame, with his power and stuff like that. So Abel Sanchez does have a point, but Canelo does have power. Canelo's strong, and it's a good stylistic matchup. Canelo lets his hands go. The difference between, I had Jacobs winning a small margin in a competitive fight. Difference being, Canelo, he's more aggressive. I don't think he's a very smart fighter, and I don't think he'll let off the gas when he's pushing you back. You know what I mean? And Jacobs did do that a little bit to me in his fight. He kind of let off the gas in certain spots when it was effective, and I think he should have just kept trying to drive Golovkin back. So Abel has a point with Jacobs is bigger than Canelo for sure. I've seen Canelo too, definitely bigger than and I might even do like a comparison picture if I can find one, like my dude Joey Spencer. I've seen pictures and stuff of them next to each other too. He was just next to Canelo and next to Danny Jacobs, and you'll notice a difference. But nonetheless, it's a good fight. Stylistically, any guy can win this fight. This is, to me, a very close fight, 50-50 fight. I think Canelo has the better overall skills, technique, definitely the better defense, definitely the better upper body movement, and he's young. He's 26, learning on the job, great experience, better resume, but Golovkin is still a threat. You can't base, this is the beautiful thing about boxing, you can't base anything off of one performance only, because that really doesn't mean anything. You can't just say, oh, this guy's washed, because because of one fight, because we've seen that and guys that got counted out, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, where did this come from? Or we've seen bad performances in boxing. And then, like, for me, Sergey Kovalev, he didn't look great versus Isaac Chilemba, but he came correct when he fought Andre Ward. He definitely got up for that fight. Some people even thought he won the fight. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, it was competitive against the pound for pound #1 person in boxing. So you can't hold your whole argument if you're picking Canelo based on what Daniel Jacobs did, because at the end of the day, we don't know if Canelo's hitting harder at 160 than Daniel Jacobs, and he definitely doesn't have the frame that Daniel Jacobs has. You know what I mean? And I mean, even though Canelo hasn't been hurt badly, usually, I mean, he got hurt by Jose Miguel Cotto, but even though he hasn't been drastically hurt, we don't know. At 160, he's relatively new to the division. So even though people were overdoing it and saying Danny Jacobs has a paper chin and glass chin, I mean, we don't even know if Canelo will be able to take Golovkin's power like Daniel Jacobs did. Daniel Jacobs also got sat down in that fight. And again, having his frame and missing the IBF weigh-in and coming in comfortable and stuff like that, he was most likely pounds bigger than Golovkin. I don't know. I don't think they did an official fight night weigh-in, but the point being is he was probably a little bit bigger than Golovkin, but we don't know if Canelo will be that much bigger just in the face-off. And when they drug them both in the ring, Golovkin looks noticeably bigger, which doesn't always mean that Chavez Jr. was noticeably bigger. But like Abel Sanchez says, when we fight in September, he's not going to have Chavez Jr. in front of him. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. I've never seen anything in Golovkin. I mean, you can say whatever you want. I'm fair. When Golovkin, I've never seen a performance. I never seen Golovkin have a performance like Chavez Jr. versus Canelo. I really don't remember a time. Even you could say he got exposed versus Kell Brook. You could say Jacobs beat him, but it was still very competitive, massive heart shown, and he was trying to do some different things. If one thing wasn't working, I've never seen Golovkin just lay down and have a fight where you'd be like, man, was that fight fixed? Because he's fighting nothing like himself, even in his toughest fight. I've never seen that. The Qasim Uma tough fights that he's had, you know what I mean? He hasn't had that many, but I'd never seen a fight like where he just didn't throw and just looked super uncharacteristic. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. I can't wait till September. I'll keep you guys updated with press tour and the HBO special schedule for Canelo versus Golovkin. Leave your predictions in your comments below. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.